Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad that you could join us this evening for our children's message. I'm going to start out this evening by sharing the gospel lesson from this week. John chapter 14, verses 15 through 21. The Holy Spirit is promised. Jesus said to his disciples, "If you love me, you will do as I command. Then I will ask the Father to send you the Holy Spirit who will help you and always be with you. The Spirit will show you what is true. The people of this world cannot accept the Spirit because they don't see or know him, but you know the Spirit, who is with you and will keep on living in you. I won't leave you like orphans. I will come back to you. In a little while, the people of this world won't be able to see me, but you will see me, and because I live, you will live. Then you will know that I am one with the Father. You will know that you are one with me, and I am one with you. If you love me, you will do what I have said, and my Father will love you. I will also love you and show you what I am like." So Jesus, just like last week's lesson, continues to speak to his disciples. And he's trying to prepare them for a time when they will no longer be able to see him or hear him or touch him. He will no longer be physically there. And he's saying to them, most importantly, I want you to continue to live and love just like the times that we have shared already. And I'm going to send you a special companion to help you do this, the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit will continue to help the disciples see Christ in the world and in their lives. And the love that they have known and the way that they have lived will continue on. The disciples will never be alone. And this is truly great and amazing news. I have a story to share with you today, Book-Ojiichan's gift, that will also kind of help you understand this in a way, that is easy for you to understand. It's hard for us to imagine what it was like way back when Jesus was speaking to the disciples. So I have a book to share with you. I hope you enjoy it. Book-Ojiichan's Gift by Chieri Uegaki and Genevieve Sims. Book-Ojiichan's Gift. When Mayumi Van Horten was born, her grandfather built her a garden. It sat behind a tidy brown house nearly halfway around the world, and it was unlike any other garden she knew. There were no tulips or daffodils or daisies, no carrots or cabbages or peas. Book-Ojiichan had made the garden out of stones, big ones, little ones, and ones in between. Some reminded Mayumi of turtles. Others stood like mountains, rugged and tall. Around the border, Book-Ojiichan had planted pine and maple, boxwood and bamboo, and in just the right spot by a stone lantern and a persimmon tree was a sheltered bench where Book-Ojiichan and Mayumi would share onigiri bento packed in a lacquered box. Every summer, Mayumi spent 2 months with Book-Ojiichan, and with each year, her ability to care for the garden grew. She learned that moss on a rock was a gift of time, not to be washed away with a hose. That weeding was more pleasant in the morning, and that clipping shrubs to look like clouds was the best of all reasons to prune. Raking gravel, though, was what Mayumi enjoyed most. She loved how the tiny rocks chattered as they passed through the rake's wooden teeth. She loved the different patterns she could make, wavy, zigzag, and straight. But rings like ripples in a pond were her favorite. And when she was done, Mayumi and Book-Ojiichan would sit and enjoy the results of her efforts in happy silence. Often when Mayumi was back home in her narrow house, listening to the clamor of traffic outside, she would wish for the sounds she heard at Book-Ojiichan's, the rustle of leaves or the creak of a bough or a twittering bird. At those times, Mayumi would open up the tin that held the souvenirs from her visits, leaves she'd pressed in a book until they dried, as delicate as dragonfly wings, tiny pine cones still springy between her fingertips, a smooth black stone that, when warmed in her hand, helped her to remember. Then one summer, everything changed. Mayumi noticed the differences as soon as she arrived. Things in the house that used to shine were dusty and dull. In the garden, shrubs and trees were overgrown, and dead leaves and needles littered the ground. Everything looked left alone. She understood now that what her parents had told her was true. Oji-chan could not live here anymore. Later, in Oji-chan's room, Mayumi tried to smile while she showed him photos from the school year. Birdsong wafted in on a green, scented breeze. Mayumi looked out at her garden. "Hi," Oji-chan said. "It's been waiting for you, Mayumi-chan." After lunch, while Oji-chan napped, Mayumi went into the garden and walked out onto the gravel. As she stared at the rock that towered over every rock around it, the tight bud of feeling that had been in her chest all morning suddenly burst open, and with a rush, she put her hands on the rock, braced her feet in the dirt beneath, and gave a mighty shove. When nothing happened, Mayumi turned around and leaned back, knees bent. She pushed as hard as she could, wanting the rock to give, and if it did, she was going to push and push and push until the thing toppled down. But the rock didn't budge, not even a little. Mayumi kicked the ground hard, spraying gravel everywhere. She kicked again and again, not caring, until a rock ricocheted back and hit her on the face. She froze, and she noticed the mess she'd made. She put a hand to her cheek and sagged to the ground. After a while, Mayumi stood up and began raking because it was something useful that she could do. And as she slowly raked the gravel back in place, stooping now and then to pick up a stray leaf or to pocket a shiny pebble, a tiny idea took root. The next morning, while her parents packed up the house, Mayumi knocked on Oji-chan's door. "Aye, Mayumi-chan," he said. "Is it lunch already?" Mayumi walked to where he sat and held out the lacquered bento box. "This feels heavier than onigiri," Oji-chan said as he took it from her. He grinned. "What are you feeding me? Maybe mud pie?" Mayumi smiled and shook her head. Oji-chan set the box on his lap, and after a moment, he lifted the lid. "Now I've made you a garden," Mayumi said. Oji-chan took her hand and gripped it tight. "Arigato, Mayumi-chan," he said. "Honto ni arigato. Thank you very much." Back home, Mayumi unpacked her suitcase and set aside several small bags. Then she took out her tin and emptied it of her treasures. The sandy gravel went in first, followed by stones of various sizes, placed just so. She added a pine cone next, and then a leaf, before patting the gravel flat. Then, using her pinky as a rake, Mayumi carefully made smooth, even rings around the 3 largest rocks. And though the garden was much smaller and the sound was much softer, if she closed her eyes and listened, she was certain she could still hear the pebbles' soothing chatter. The end. Wasn't that a great story? So Oji-chan and Mayumi are not able to share the love and experiences they had when they used to be able to go to Oji-chan's garden in the backyard and garden and share experiences and make new memories. But because of the portable gardens that Mayumi made for them, they are able to continue to share the love just like Jesus is able to continue to share the love and the life that he has lived with his disciples because of their special companion, the Holy Spirit. And the love of Jesus continues to live on with us also through the Holy Spirit. I just love that, and it is truly great news. I hope you enjoyed this week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.